What's up guys, Brazy here, and today I'm going to do a YouTube tutorial on how to make a Demon Slayer banner. It'll be a little lengthy video, but it'll cover all the basic steps that you need to follow along. But before we get into that, I'm going to get into my Discord server here. This will be the top of the description. I'll have a whole link, but in here, you can come in here and ask me questions. You can come in here and I'll be doing exclusive Discord server giveaways. I thought about giving away Nitro, and you can also just stay active in this community with saying your favorite anime character, talking to some of the guys I already have in here. But yeah, let's get into this video. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to create a new file, and we're going to have to keep it the regulated size for YouTube banner, which is going to be 2560 by 1440. So just copy the width and height that I have here and press OK. And next, I'm going to open up a YouTube banner template. You can find this anywhere on Google just by Googling YouTube banner template. But it's not really a necessity. What kind of is, because it keeps you on the right path of what size everything needs to be in the view on each device. But the really important part of this template would be the darker rectangle, because that shows on every device. So I just press Ctrl R and I will drag down these rulers just to keep the lines intact on the part that you need to be on. But my main focus on this banner would be this darkest rectangle area, which will be shown on every device. This text and logo safe area here. And then next, I'm going to choose this black color, and I just like to put a rectangle with the rectangle tool and just put it on top and bottom of the parts that are void in the banner, just because you can't really see them anyway. Just removes distraction while making banners. So next I'm gonna go into my client files, and in these client files I might link this in my Discord server, but there's many different pictures in here from graphics packs all over, but I just collect them in one place just to stay neat. But this will be a giyu Demon Slayer banner, so that's what my main focus is. Have textures in here, some particles and stuff like that. But first, let's just open up this background picture. This would be like a giyu water background picture. This would just be the main focus, just to keep a water theme to the banner that I'm making. So to copy it over onto your project, just press Ctrl A and C to copy it, and then Ctrl V to paste it onto your project. Just move that below the borders there. But then we need to resize it to fill the entire banner, so we're just going to press Ctrl T and stretch it all the way. Just like that. That looks nice. And then next, what we're going to do is we're going to open up back into my files. We're going to press on this main giyu here. He's going to be the main focus. We're just going to remove this watermark though. I'm gonna use the lasso tool. I'm just gonna outline this just like so. Now I'm gonna connect it, and once it's connected, just press delete. I'm gonna take that right off, press Ctrl D and just copy it over here. Now just need to resize it just wherever you like it. I'm just gonna move it more on the left here. Make sure you're keeping it inside those border lines there. Yeah, that looks nice. And next I'm gonna press hue and saturation. I'm gonna make it a clipping mask by holding Alt and pressing down on it. I'm gonna rename it to giyu, just like that, and then rename the background to water background. But now let's get back to this hue and saturation. The only thing this picture really needs is saturation, so we're just gonna mess with that a little bit so it looks nice. And put it around 50. You can also mess with the lightness a little bit, but that's not really important right here in this picture. So I'm just kind of gonna leave that alone. But here's with and without. You can really see the difference there just with the saturation. And next I'm gonna add curves to this as well. This is also really important to keep the picture blending in with the background. I'm just gonna move it slightly. Just adjust it slightly. And here's with and without. Makes it a little bit darker. So what you can do is you can close that and just lower the opacity just slightly, just so it affects it just a little bit. See, just like that. Alright, next, we're gonna be messing with the hue and saturation on the water background. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make it a clippy mask on there. We're just gonna mess with the hue a little bit. We're gonna bring it down. We need this to be brighter blue to match the water breathing that he's doing. So we're just gonna bring this down, make it real bright. And we're gonna up the saturation just to make that glow a little bit. Not too much. Just bring that down. Yeah, just around something like this. Alright, next what we're going to do, we need to blur this background a little bit. Just open this, wait, no. We're going to open up, press filter and press blur, and then Gaussian blur. And you just move this to wherever you like it most. Just move this down a little bit. Around 3. A little bit more down. No, probably, yeah, 3 would be nice. So that just blurs a little bit more so they can focus on the front instead of the background. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna combine those layers and name it giyu. And I'm gonna alt and drag down to copy that giyu. We're just gonna make a little background blur for him. Just motion blur it. We're just gonna put this somewhere around like 20ish. And make sure the angle's on 0. And just like that. I want to name it giyu blur. Alright, next we're gonna add a new layer. This is gonna be like a glowy eye effect on top of giyu. So we're just gonna zoom in. We're gonna go to our brush tool. And then we're just gonna get us a nice blue here, just to put on top of his eyes. Just zoom in and then pick this, and we're gonna go to, just gonna make this like a bright blue, maybe a little bit darker. Just gonna feel his whole eye. You don't have to make this perfect, you just need to feel the entire eye. Make sure the hardness is all the way down on that brush. Just feel that in. Just like so. And again on the other side, just feel that in. Then we're gonna change the blend mode here. We're gonna change it to like a screen. Yeah, just like that. So it glows. And then next we're gonna add a new layer and make it a clipping mask. And we're just gonna up the brush size a little bit. We're just gonna tap once on each side. Just gonna lower that opacity a little bit. Just kind of mess with this, make it look kind of glowy. Change the blend mode to soft light. And then probably should like lower the opacity. Because it looks really, really dark. So yeah, let's lower that opacity. Move that down to around like 50. Yeah, it looks good. Let's select all the layers by holding shift and clicking. And then let's just press Ctrl G to group it all together and just name that giyu, just to keep all those files and layers inside that one group. Then next we're gonna focus on our text. So we're gonna go to our type tool. We're just gonna type in the client's name here. and Control A to select all of them. We're just gonna change the size. Just make this a little bit bigger. This is gonna be the background, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Probably just like that, maybe a little bit larger, like 190. Yeah, that's good. What we'll do is we're gonna move that down first, and then we're gonna click on it, and we're gonna change this color to white. Then we're gonna copy that layer down by holding Alt, and then we're just gonna drag that down while holding Shift to make it go directly down. Just make this like a little bit of distance in between the word. Just like that. And just do that again one more time. Just a little bit of space in between. We're going to select all of these by pressing Shift, and then we're going to Control T and then just drag this up a little bit, just because that bottom name is cut off completely. Just want to kind of center this out. Yeah, it's good. Alright, next, what we're going to do is we're going to copy all three of these. So select all of them. But first, we're gonna add an overlay, just so it can glow. Just give it that nice glow right there. And then now we're gonna select all of these, and we're just gonna drag down. And for these, we're gonna Control E to merge all of them. We're just gonna go to blending options. We're just gonna give it like a white stroke. And just lower that fill opacity all the way down, just so you see the stroke only. And let's lower that stroke size all the way down to 1, just so it's like an outline, a slight outline. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, now we're gonna select all these and press Control G and just name this text. Alright, now we can focus on the main text here. So we're just gonna put the client's name in. Like that. We need to move this on top of giyu. Yeah, just so we can see it. Let me change this. Let me change this font. Just pick a font here. Probably something like this. Yeah, that looks good. You can change the size a little bit, just so it fits in with the character. Alright, now we're gonna go blending options. We're gonna add a few things here. Just gonna put gradient overlay. Just gonna pick this gradient overlay here, and then mess with the opacity. Probably put the opacity just anywhere around 50%. And that'll look good. I'm gonna show 2 ways here to mess with the font. So first way, it's real simple. You can just add this stroke up real high just to keep the background, just to make it like stand out. Yeah, just like that. Just anywhere around here, however big you want it. But for this video, I'm gonna be doing a different way. It's kind of more like a 3D text way, but it's a real simple way to do it. You can just copy that down below. We're gonna go to blending options. First, we're gonna hide that top layer so we can select it, the back layer, and make it black. Yeah, so now it's completely black. We're just gonna make it bigger. Just put it right behind that front one. I'll move this down a little bit. Just give it that 3D look. Yeah, something like that. Alright, then next, you can keep it like that and just start changing it, or you can do this extra step I'm about to show, which will give it more of like a 3D look to it. Let's just close this real quick. But yeah, it'll give it more a 3D look to it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a new layer right here, just like that. And then we're gonna get our lasso tool, and then we're just gonna make sure the black matches with the white here, just like a 3D connection. You see how it's overlapping like that, almost looking like a dark shadow. We're just gonna connect that. And then press Alt backspace. Make sure you're on that new layer, and make sure whatever color you're on is black on your color swatch. Yeah, just press Ctrl D to deselect that. And then let's just put that below both of the text here. Just like that. See, it looks real nice. But I'm gonna speed this up and do it on the rest. Alright, now that we're done with that, we're gonna combine these two. The black layer and the layer that we just made for the connections. We're just gonna combine those with Ctrl E. Then we're gonna add a gradient to the background as well. So you just press on gradient overlay. Yeah, that looks really nice, but we need it to be less black, so you just mess with this a little bit, just lower. Now we're gonna keep that gradient on there. We're just gonna probably up this scale, so just up the scale all the way. Yeah, just like that. That looks really good. Just gives it that real 3D vibe to it. Alright, now that's pretty much complete, but let's go back in on that layer that we just added the gradient to. Let's put a drop shadow. Let's change the angle to 90. Use the global light as 90 as well. And then just change this distance and the size kind of just slightly, since the light will be coming kind of from above and front. So you can just copy these. Right here, we just change the spread a little bit. Mess with the opacity, somewhere around there. Yeah, it looks good. So now we're gonna do for the top font, we're just gonna add inner shadow, but we don't want this to look too harsh. So we're just gonna adjust these a little bit, just to make it kind of light. Something like that. And again, you can just copy this. I'm just messing around with it the way I like. Make sure the angle's at 90. Since we lowered the opacity, let's just up this distance a little bit. And just like that, that'll be it for those two. Alright, and now let's see. Actually, we're going to let's just group these. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these, the front two main text here, and we're just gonna name this front 3D text. And then for the back one, we're just gonna change this to background text. This is just so we don't get confused. You don't have to do this. I just like to keep it a little neat. And then let's just select the giyu group and the front 3D text group, and let's just move this a little to the left because it's affecting the border there. You don't want it to go over that border line that we made in the beginning, because you want all devices to be able to see the banner real clearly on the main parts of it, just like here. Alright, so just move this to your liking. And after the giyu, we're just gonna select the giyu group, and we're just gonna press Ctrl T, and we're just gonna scoot this over just by itself. Just put them kind of like right on the edge of this left side here. Okay, that's good. Alright, next, since there's this harsh line right here, we're just going to kind of just use our eraser, make sure the hardness here is on 0. I'm just going to take this harsh line away, just so it doesn't look like cut off. Just tap away at this. And again, you don't have to do this, just little touch-ups that I do during my banners. And you can select the giyu blur layer, which is right underneath it, and do the same thing. Just tap away at it. Make it look more flush. Yeah, just like that. Looks good. So now we're just gonna select these layers here, the background text all the way down to the water background and template, just like that. I'm gonna press Ctrl G. I'm gonna name this BG for background group. Alright, now we're gonna move the front 3D text underneath the giyu, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna put his arm on top and erase this water. So just lower the opacity of the entire giyu group down just to anywhere so you can see the font through it. Just zoom in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna be erasing this water. So what we need to do is can't see it really because the whole background is kind of blue. So we're just gonna hide these 3 layers here. Just keep the template background. But we need to select both the giyu and the giyu blur. So we need to just disable these glowing eye clipping masks that we have here, just for a sec, and then select both of these and press Ctrl E to combine them, and then you can just re-enable these clipping masks on that layer. But then select that giyu that we just combined, and then just erase this entire water off of this text here. But keep the hand. I'm just gonna do it like this everywhere where the word is. I'm gonna speed this up. Alright, now that looks good. So for the rest of this video, it's kind of like the basic tutorial, but I added like a few more anime characters on the left and right, and made them an overlay blend, and then I added more of those effects that I had from the graphics pack, these little white things here, and just kind of blurred them out a little bit, gave them a little bit of motion blur. And then I also added some shadows for VisionNet. and then I added a little bit of light on top, and also some color corrections like vibrance, saturation, contrast, all of that, just to make it look good. And I might add all these files for these things in my Discord server, so make sure you join that. It'll be at the top of the description. But if you made it this far, make sure you like the video, and if you don't have Photoshop, I might have a link for it inside my Discord. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.